You ever you kiss on the first date?
Don't be trying to ask me questions like that.
It's a line that I feel like most people have like a thought in mind of whether they would or not, right?
Whether you would kiss on the first date or not?
Yeah, you
I
kind of.
guess it depends if you look at the person and you're like, are they cute?
I think if you're using like a dating app or
You
something,
feeling it?
like you make up your mind before you've made up your mind on whether you'd be open to it before the date ever starts.
Unless
Would
you
you
get
say?
unless you get surprised when you get there that they're not nearly as cute as
That's
you thought that they
right.
would be.
If you get catfished,
Yeah.
it could be. But here's another question you have to ask yourself, apparently, before you go on a first date. Another line that might be crossed. Would you be open to having your pimple popped on the first date?
By the other person?
Uh-huh.
We're not doing that.
Somebody is.
What?
Somebody is. I've got a gal here. She's apparently a model in New York City. She's 20 years old. Had a Hinge date set up that everything was seeming to go so well. She got breakfast with the guy. They were walking through Central Park. Everything was going well. I mean, it sounds picturesque. Sounds real cute. But they got so comfortable that the guy eventually asked on this first date if he could pop the pimple on her forehead.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah,
That's a terrible move.
That feels like a double whammy, right?
Like, what are you thinking?
That's a double whammy because first of all, it's gross and painful. Second of all, you're pointing out that you noticed the big pimple
Yep.
on her forehead. You can't do that, right?
Because then when she says no, which I assume she obviously did,
Uh-huh.
then what's she thinking the rest of the time? You're
Yeah.
staring at this
I mean,
pimple on my forehead.
That's a make or break right there on the on the date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got to be real sure that she's gonna say yes, or that's the end of the date. Like where could the conversation even go from there?
Yeah, exactly. Like when she says no, then he's like, oh, okay. Like, what do you even do? What do you do from there?
Yeah, and then for her, like she says, this she calls it. She was violently humbled.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, because now, like, how could you even feel comfortable going on a first date again? You can't. Your last first date, notice the giant pimple on your forehead. How do you recover from that?
Yeah, you don't. When they say, can I pop that pimple, that makes you feel so self-conscious.
Uh-huh.
You probably were worried about it before the date anyway.
Yeah.
You were like, but then you were like, they probably won't even notice. Like, it's the other people don't notice nearly as much as you
Yeah.
notice about yourself.
Right.
And then you go on the date and he's like, can I pop that? That's going to need popped.
I don't want anybody to pop any of my pimples, whether they notice them or not. I'm less concerned with them noticing, but I don't want people touching them.
I don't want people on the first date asking about anything on my face that looks like an imperfection.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if you had like a singular hair between like your eyebrows and they were like, you mind if I pluck that? You're like, you noticed? Really? You noticed that? Are you serious? So for
Yeah.
me, I don't think you need to do any of that.
Don't point out people's blemishes on a first date. That's, I mean, it could be, some might consider it a power move. I just consider it a jerk move, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think I think it's weird. I don't think he was doing it to be mean,
Uh-huh.
but I think it's just weird. I think
No,
you're a weirdo.
It's just got a weird thing. Just go.
But at the same time, the bunch of people on the internet think he's great for that.
Yeah. Pimple popper people.
They said, respectfully, this is a green flag. Keeper. He's the one. Where do you find guys like this? Please tell me you're talking / seeing him again. Like, what? For me, that's an automatic no.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess there should be a dating site just for pimple popper people.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.